Good afternoon, I'm Shelley Walcott.
And I'm Tom Griffith. We're here breaking into news about the suspect in that high-profile kidnapping in North Conway. Let's listen to Jane Young from the U.S. The Attorney General's office.
There will be no questions that will be entertained at today's press conference. Speaking first will be Attorney General Joseph Foster, followed by myself, Jane Young, and lastly, Lynn Shillette will speak. Again, I reiterate, this will be a very brief statement on each of our parts, and there will be no questions. General Foster.
Good afternoon. Today we'll be speaking very briefly about indictments issued earlier this week by a Coos County grand jury and a Carroll County grand jury against Nathaniel Kibby. Now, traditionally, our office does not hold press conferences when indictments are issued in cases. But there are unique aspects about this particular case, and the victim, I believe, warrant it. On October 9, 2013, a 14-year-old girl, a child, did not return home after school. Her whereabouts were unknown, and her mother promptly and wisely reached out to authorities for help. An intensive and prolonged search for this young girl ensued. The search involved local, state, and federal authorities, including members of the agencies standing with me today: the FBI, the New Hampshire State Police, and the Conway Police Department. Members of the community assisted as well, along with media outlets, local businesses, and charitable organizations in Carroll County and beyond. On July 20, 2014, over 9 months after this young girl disappeared, our prayers were answered and she returned home. Law enforcement's focus quickly shifted from a missing person investigation to a criminal investigation to determine and answer the questions: how this young girl disappeared, where she had been, and who she'd been with. On July 28th, 8 days after the girl returned home, Nathaniel Kibby was arrested at his residence in Gorham, New Hampshire, which is located in Coos County. He was charged with kidnapping the girl and arraigned on a charge in the Third Circuit Court District Division in Conway, New Hampshire. He has been held on $1 million cash bail since that date. Since then, an investigation has been ongoing and additional evidence has been gathered. That evidence has been presented to a Carroll County grand jury where the girl was kidnapped, and to a Coos County grand jury where she was taken and held. Indictments have been returned and are posted on the website of the New Hampshire Judicial Branch. Associate Attorney General Jane Young will be discussing those indictments in a moment. Before she does so, I want to make a point and an ask. You will note I have not mentioned the name of the girl, and none of us will do so today. We are asking you to do the same and to not use her likeness in any of your reporting. We also ask that you give her the time and the space she surely needs. In cases involving child victims and sexually assault victims, the victim's identity is usually protected. That is done, among other reasons, to protect a victim from additional indignities. It also encourages other victims to come forward knowing that, to the extent that is possible, their identity and likeness will not be published. Please reflect upon the fact that the only reason this young girl, this child's name and likeness is known is because she was missing. That information needed to be disseminated so that she could be found. Had she not been missing, that information, her name and her likeness, would not be known today and would not be used. We ask you not to do so in your further reporting. It is simply the right thing to do. I will now ask Associate Attorney General Jane Young to discuss the indictments and to explain why we have asked the indictments to be partially redacted. Jane?
Thank you. Earlier this week, the Carroll County grand jury returned indictments charging Mr. Kibby with kidnapping, robbery, criminal threatening, use of an electronic defense weapon, and felonious use of a firearm. The Coos County grand jury returned 80 indictments charging Kibby with aggravated felonious sexual assault. 80 indictments charging Kibby with felonious sexual assault. 11 indictments charging him with falsifying physical evidence. 8 indictments charging him with witness tampering. 7 indictments charging him with criminal use of an electronic defense weapon, 4 indictments charging him with second-degree assault, 4 indictments charging him with criminal threatening, 2 indictments charging him with sale of marijuana, 2 indictments charging him with felonious use of a firearm, 1 indictment charging him with indecent exposure, and 1 indictment charging him with kidnapping. The defendant will be arraigned on these charges on January 8, 2015 at 2:30 p.m. in Coos County, and the following day on January 9th at 9 a.m. in Carroll County. The Attorney General's office is committed to ensuring that the defendant receive a fair trial on each of these charges. The lawyers at the Attorney General's office must, as all lawyers must, abide by the rules of professional conduct. As a result of these 2 related concerns, this office will not discuss the evidence it will use to prove the 205 charges against Mr. Kibby. Mr. Kibby has been indicted. His case will now proceed through the criminal justice system in the courts of New Hampshire. I want to talk to you about the indictments in this case. The indictments state the legal elements of the crime which the defendant is charged. In order to provide the defendant with notice of the factual basis for the crimes, the indictments also state the graphic details of the crimes. In striving to provide the victim with protections that we believe that she is entitled to, the Attorney General's office has asked the Superior Court to allow redactions of certain factual information from a criminal threatening indictment and from the sexual assault and indecent exposure indictments. The statutory allegations have not been redacted. We have undertaken this unprecedented step effectively to balance the public's right to access of the indictments and the victim's right to privacy. Releasing the graphic details contained in the sexual assault and the other 2 indictments will cause further trauma and humiliation to the child in this case. Thus, we are taking every step possible to protect the child from the intense scrutiny which is bound to flow from these indictments. Balancing these competing interests has been challenging, and it has been the subject of ongoing discussion and debate. I recognize that this victim's identity is known, and I know that we cannot unring that bell now that this child has been in the public eye for so many months. But as a trauma expert so eloquently said, while we can't unring the bell, we don't have to keep ringing it either. And that is what I'm asking each of you to do today. As the Attorney General said, we ask that as you report the legal proceedings against Mr. Kibby, you not identify the child victim by name and that you not publish her photograph. This is what is owed to this child by each of us as a society and simply as decent fellow human beings. While we cannot unring the bell as to her identity, we can stop ringing it by not using her name or her likeness as this case proceeds forward. In so doing, we will give her the opportunity to continue not only to survive, but to thrive out of this media spotlight. By protecting this child, we as a community can and will be sending a powerful message that, God forbid, when there is a future victim, that they will be able to come forward knowing that they will have all of the protections that we are seeking today for this child. I thank you for what I know will be your cooperation as this matter goes forward. I will now introduce Lynn Gillette, who is the Executive Director of the
New Hampshire Coalition Against Domestic
Thank you.
Great. Thank you,
Lynn.
Jane. Good afternoon. As Jane said, my name is Lynn Shillette. I am the Executive Director of the New Hampshire Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence, a statewide network of 14 crisis centers in New Hampshire. I want to thank you all for being here, and I especially want to thank the Attorney General's office for including the coalition in this press conference. The coalition stands here today in support of the survivor in this case, and in support of the Attorney General's request to protect the privacy and the well-being of this survivor. I've had the opportunity to meet and to speak with the child victim in this case. She continues to heal and to thrive now that she is reunited with her family. As she is in her home and in her community, we stand with her in this request for privacy and time to heal. This is certainly a unique case, and in many ways an unprecedented one. This child disappeared, and in an effort to bring her home safely, her name and her photo were widely distributed. You now know that according to these indictments, she is a victim of kidnapping and multiple sexual assaults. In any other child sexual assault case, the name of the victim and the images of the victim would neither be released nor used by the media. But this case is different. This case is different because this child was missing and was the subject of a missing persons investigation for nearly 10 months before she was returned home. The fact that she was initially a missing child and then sexually assaulted should not mean that she is afforded any less protections than other child victims of sexual assault. So we have a request today, and that is that the use of this young survivor's name and her image stop. This child, victim of sexual assault, deserves the same degree of privacy that would be afforded to any other child victim of sexual assault. We know from survivors of sexual assault that the public's response and the media's response to their case are often as traumatizing as the event itself. And it is the fear of that public response that stops so many victims from ever reporting their cases or from cooperating with the prosecution. All sexual assault survivors struggle to regain a sense of normalcy and to take back control over their lives, control that was stolen from them. This young survivor is no different. Her focus is on regaining control over her life and control over her future. And the media and the public play a critical role in this process. We hope that with the release of these indictments that the speculation that has been in the media and has been in the public will cease, and that the legal process will be allowed to move forward in the interest of justice for all those who are involved. None of us can put ourselves in this child victim's shoes, let alone in the circumstances described in these charging documents. So as the criminal justice process moves forward, let us put an end to sharing questions, comments, photos, and even the name of this child victim. We are so grateful that she has been returned to her family, and we ask that she be allowed the dignity and the peace to which she and all victims are entitled. Thank you.
Because we stuck pretty tight to a script today, our comments are available. They can be handed out in case you missed anything that we said. Thank you for coming here on such short notice, and thank you, as the Attorney General said, for doing the right thing in this case. Thank you.